Hello and welcome to Lee's Lab, where I like to explore skincare and makeup for men. The purpose of this channel is really to figure out sort of what works well for me, maybe give you some tips and tricks along the way. And today, what we are going to be doing is getting ready for work. Now, you don't have to wear makeup. I don't have to wear makeup. Nobody has to wear makeup, right? But there are some days where I just want to even out my skin. I just want a little bit more confidence. I just want to feel fresh looking, and I don't want to have a bunch of makeup caked on my face. If I can find something that looks like my natural skin, where maybe only if you look super close you can see it, that is ultimately my goal, especially when I'm going to work. I work a 9 to 5. It's an office job. I'm interacting with people all throughout the day. And so some days I just want to do a little bit to even out these little marks that I have on my face. But I also have pretty deep lines here, right? See these guys here? And right in here. And so I also want to find some things that don't build up in those areas and exaggerate them. Also, and this is a close one, I've got some big pores on my face. So certain makeups, certain things like that are going to fill into these, and sometimes they just exaggerate them more. So today, starting off, I just have a good moisturizing base on. After showering this morning, washing my face, I just put on a little bit of milky toner, and then a little bit of like hyaluronic acid, niacinamide serum on top of that. But what I'm excited to share with you is this L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. And it is essentially a skin tint. It has 1% pure hyaluronic acid, and this is in the shade 3-4 light to medium. Now, I fake tan, so typically it's kind of faded right now. I think it's actually mostly gone, but I usually fake tan. And so with my color on my face, I like to go something that's a little bit dark that gives like sort of a nice healthy glow. And so we'll see how this translates on camera with this lighting that's in my office right now. But with natural daylight and even office at work, this product is amazing on my skin. Now, if this is your first time trying these things, watching this video, if you're like, you're kind of afraid, this is a great option. You don't have to spend a lot of money on this. You can get this incredibly inexpensively. I think at CVS, Walmart, Target, places like that, it might run somewhere between like $12 and $15. But I found this on Woot. And on Woot, this product, I paid $6.99 on one of their daily deals. And this is not an ad. I am not sponsored by L'Oreal. I am not sponsored by Amazon or Woot or anything like that. This is just my experience with this product, and I want to show you how I use it and how it works for me. So with this particular product, I like to shake it up a little bit and also squeeze the top to get anything that's out of the little dropper in there, just to sort of mix that up. It kind of separates in the container just a little bit after a little bit of time. So looking at that, I'm just gonna kind of mix it up and get everything out of there and get a fresh amount that's back in there. This dropper is messy. It is messy. I could probably just scrape the stuff off the side of the dropper and that would be okay. And I'm gonna show you how to apply this with my fingers on one side and a little brush on the other side. So you don't have to have a brush. You could absolutely do this with your fingers, right? If you're just trying this stuff out, if you don't have like makeup products or accessories or anything like that. But I am gonna start off by putting it on the back of my hand here because it's already starting to run down. With this, I'm gonna just take a tiny bit on my finger and I'm just gonna apply it right here and start rubbing that in. And you see as I rub it in, it just blends so well and it begins to even out those colors, those little dark spots that I have right there and right here on my, yeah. Now you can definitely see that. It looks super noticeable, right? But if I rub it in it just evens out, and that spot is not as noticeable as it was before. It also has a nice little texture, like a little glow to it, if you will. I'm gonna put this on my forehead and do it up here, and then on my chin. And I shaved yesterday. I did not shave today. So one of the other things that I'm looking for in the product is something that isn't gonna build up and be too noticeable in my stubble, in my beard. And I'm just gonna rub this in, and I'll show you what this looks like. Get it on my nose, up into my forehead right here, and just sort of that half, so I can show you the difference between the two. Now, rubbing this in, into my hairline, right back here. Because my hair is really short, I will also just kind of blend it out into this, so there's not like a harsh line of the difference in colors. But I feel like this blends so well, and it's so light that the color match is so good that I don't have to worry about that too much. Certain colors that I put on, maybe they're just not the right color, right? Fair enough. But certain colors, you can definitely see the like line of demarcation, that little bit there. Now I'm gonna put a little bit here on my neck also, and then just blend this in with my fingers. And it just evens that out. I had a couple little spots on my neck, like a couple little spots from when, you know, shaving and the hair growing back and things like that. But looking at this, look at this here. See how that's all evened out there? Even on my nose, it's not overly exaggerating my pores here. And compared to the other side, it definitely has smoothed out my skin's surface and brought that very, very nice for me. Now, I'm gonna take a brush, and I do have a Morphe brush here. It's the 104.5. It's a little short guy, which I like. And I'm gonna dip the rest of my product here onto the brush and just kind of sort of get that evenly distributed. And I'm gonna do the other side of my face with that. All right, so taking a look here, and you can see that it definitely covers a lot more. And I just kind of stipple it, tap it into my skin and into my chin. And I am gonna take some right down here onto my neck. And then I'm gonna do really light strokes and just sort of blend that in to my skin, around my nose. And it did definitely lighten up this dark spot here. I do have like a little blemish or something right here, which is fine. You know, those happen, especially when you're 40, right? Your skin all of a sudden decides one day when you wake up to be like, hey, I'm gonna have all these new things on it that you get to deal with today. New lines that I discover, little blemishes here and there. But all stuff that's manageable, right? All stuff I can just put a little concealer on, maybe, sort of things like that. Just lighten up that redness a little bit, maybe make it not so like glaring and in your face. And realistically, when I'm interacting with people all day long, are they looking at these things? Probably not. But because when I look at myself, I notice it. It's like a central focus. So with that, I just like to sort of even things out. Now, I've applied this side with the brush. And I've applied this side with my fingers. I think that it looks great. And I've got a little mirror right here behind my camera. So I'm kind of looking at this, and I can use this brush to sort of blend out the excess over here. But all I've done is sort of evened out the skin tone on my entire face, but not to the point where it looks like I'm wearing a mask. I don't think that I look washed out. I think I look very nice and healthy as far as this glow. And once again, this could very well just be, I don't know how this is translating on the camera. I don't know if it looks like it does in my mirror in front of me, but my skin just looks even and healthy. And taking this down into the neckline also helps to blend that, right? So that these aren't two different colors. Because I self-tan, this area right here, my face and this part of my neck tend to fade off the fastest when I do that. So having this to sort of even that out and match what is going on with the rest of my body is fantastic. All right, this is the final product, the finished work, and super, super close. I'm looking at here. See how it is not built up around my hair here? It is not built up into my nose or into my pores, and even these deep, deep lines on my forehead, which I love, lots of character there. There's not makeup built up inside of them. It has not overly exaggerated them. It is a fantastic product. I could absolutely wear this every single day. Could you? Would you like to try it? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Is there something that you like better than this? Something that is just as good at a good price point, maybe a little bit more expensive, right? If it's a good product, I don't mind spending a little bit of money on it, especially if I'm gonna use it all the time. But this L'Oreal True Match Nude is definitely an amazing drugstore find. Try it out, let me know what you think, and thanks for joining. I hope to see you soon. Well, I hope that you join again soon. Drop me a line in the comments. Let me know, what other products you would like me to try, if you have some recommendations for me. And what do you think of my videos? Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.